What is up, guys? It's Quicksilver, and let me see, before I get to the main part of the video today, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on the gold farm here at the top of the nether. Um, just want to let you see kind of how I kind of addressed everything here. I've gone ahead, I've pretty much half-slabbed everything up here. I've not seen any zombie pigmen or anything like that, so I'm going to say that's a resounding success. I do still need to finish out building the platforms up here a little more. I think I only have 5 on each side, so I guess a total of 10 spawning areas up there for them. So I need to get that finished out, but down here on the bottom side I want to make something a little more interesting than just having a hole in the ground that takes me back to the normal nether. This is actually also, I made an update to the texture pack, so the stained glass is a little brighter. What I had in there before, there were some colors that I feel were a little bit too similar to one another, so now I think I've addressed that. But yeah, and as far as the gold farm goes, this is, let me say, I think I went AFK for about 5 hours with the 10 platforms, and the yield was a double chest of gold nuggets there, and apparently we've just got something else down here. As well as, I guess, another half, really, I'm going to call it, so basically a double chest and a half in about 5 or 6 hours. Oh, isn't that fun? Get out of there, you guys. So, yeah, apparently I'm spawning magma cubes up there somewhere, so that's interesting anyway. Where'd you come from? Good grief. So yeah, anyway, I guess the system, I guess the sorting system will handle that. Basically, it'll take any of the other drops from the magma cubes. Unfortunately, it'll throw that into the lava there. If I keep seeing that happen, maybe I'll do something a little extra with it. But yeah, I basically just made a little, that's obviously the access to the redstone. I made a little staircase over here on the side, so I can get up here and over to the ladder, so I don't have to, I mean, I can still run around, but this just gives me easier access to it so that I can climb to the top. And then I have access to everything up here as well. I went ahead, I've just made little half-step thingies here so that I can get up and down that mess. So that is that. I think today our main project that we're going to do, and I'm not exactly sure where yet, so I may just be recording a little intro here, guys, and then waiting a day or so before I actually record the video. But I want to go ahead, the whole point of the Enderman farm was I wanted to have an Enderpearl elevator so that we could get back from the skeleton farm, which really the only reason we need to head over there now is if we need arrows for hello, it's snowing here in the overworld. The only reason we really need arrows, I guess at this point, I guess to shoot things, but other than that, it's just for the kind of the play around thing over there, the flaming wall of death video that I did a few days ago. And I think I want to find a way to build that thing. I think I want to find a way to build it over here where we go down. Maybe I can build it in front of this. The problem that I'm having with resolving that is the design that I've come up with, and I'll show that to you in just a second in my contraption world. The design that I've come up with for it is a little bit, I don't even know what I'm trying to tell you guys here. The way when you come up in the Enderpearl elevator, you come out on the sides of it, so there's not really going to be a good way, and because of the way this thing's built, I don't want to have just like a little 1 block wide hallway here. So I'm not sure, maybe I'll build some kind of connecting schema, if that's even appropriate, to get us over here or something. I don't know, I'll figure something out. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hop out of here. We'll head over to the contraption world, and I will at least show you what I've got in mind over there. Alright guys, here we are over my contraption world. Just an interesting side note, I like to build my contraption worlds where I test these things out in actual terrain worlds, because sometimes it makes it easier to build things up high, like this little mock bridge and things like that. But it's a pain in the ass when you want a big flat area. So anyway, let's get to the matter at hand. Actually, this is something pretty cool I'll show you in a minute, but I do want to go ahead and show you this first. So I guess here is the Enderpearl elevator from underneath. The important thing to know if you are going to build one of these in your world is I guess you can only throw an Enderpearl 32 blocks without using an explosion or something like that to propel it further. So you don't want to build this thing any further up than 32 blocks high. If you're going to do that, you probably need to build a couple of them in tandem. But as you can see, I've kind of measured all that out. The ice blocks are every 5 blocks, I believe. So the way this thing works, just in a nutshell, is you have the spider string up there, and above that there's a ceiling. I'm going to chuck the pearl up there, and it's going to hit the ceiling, so we'll teleport up there. And as soon as we pop in, the tripwire hooks, I guess, are on the sides here, will pick up the fact that we're there, and it'll send a redstone pulse out immediately to the sticky pistons that are here that are then going to shove out these blocks that are next to it out and together so that we'll actually be standing on a platform. So that is how that thing works. And I guess, yeah, without further ado, here we go. I'll go ahead and I'll chuck a pearl up there and show you how it works. Oh, yeah, I gotta go into the proper game mode first. Yeah, there we go. That should work. Oh, I think it's bump mute. I don't know. Anyway, we'll go with it. Here we go, guys. Ready? So there we are. So this is the way this thing works. This is what I was saying. I'm having kind of a tough time resolving. Ooh, I only have a half a heart of a health left here. That's not good. Anyway, I'm having a hard time resolving how I want this thing to connect to the other area, because as you can see, I feel like you kind of come in on the side of this thing. So I don't want to come in sideways. And it's kind of nice because you got this big hole here, but when you run down here, that immediately picks up as soon as you hit those. So even though there's a hole there, when you're up here, you're really kind of trapped up here unless you have a way to get down. So just a little something neat to note about it, and I will show you guys how this thing's built. It's really, really simple. In a nutshell, let me go back into the proper game mode here so I can rip things apart and show them to you. The seedy underbelly of my work here. Basically, we have tripwire hooks here. We have our sticky pistons here. There's redstone behind them. That's why it's important to have the half slabs working like this up so that we actually have a full gap down here for our redstone to run around. The redstone is on the blocks right behind the pistons, so as soon as they get power, they will fire those pistons out, which is basically what catches us when we teleport up here. On this side of things, here's the underbelly of it. This power comes up here and then across over here. So the reason that actually, when I first built this, I didn't have this going all the way across, and that created an interesting little dilemma where only one side of this thing would pop out. So like if I threw the pearl up over here, then this would come out and catch me, but the other side there was still a great big hole there. So it just seemed a little weird. So, and especially when I was trying to run across like this, there was generally going to be a hole on the other side of it. So by connecting that redstone across there is kind of important. And then it just does the same thing on the opposite side, so that basically no matter where you come in, when you hit this string, it's going to send that redstone to both sides, and it's going to kick out all of those sticky pistons that have our blocks on them. So it's like I said, it's a really simple little thing. The ceiling here, I don't like having it in here, but really if you don't have it, then it's not an Enderpearl elevator. The pearl just goes up and then falls back down through the string and doesn't do anything. So that is important. Aesthetically, like I said, I'm not really sure I like it a lot, but it doesn't slow me down. I don't hit it at all when I go trying to run through it. But that is the Enderpearl elevator. So like I said, now I just got to find a place to stick that thing in our Let's Play world so that we can actually use it. Then this is just a little something that I was goofing around with when I was thinking about some stuff here, and I figured out a way to make colored steps. So I'm not jumping, I'm just running straight up and down this thing, and I'm not sure this is a groundbreaking discovery or anything like that, but I thought it was kind of a cool thing. Again, for an aesthetic builder, you don't always want to have wooden steps or stone steps somewhere. So I will show you the way this works. If you haven't already guessed, these are just carpets that I've laid on top of whatever the surface is beneath it. But when we get over to these edges, I've gone ahead and I've thrown in fences in a hole under there, and then I'm throwing carpet right on top of it. The reason that works is because even though you can't see the fences, the game views fences as a block and a half high. So when I actually move over, you can see it moves me up and then up the rest of it to get up onto the block right here. So basically everywhere I've got one of these, anywhere I'm going up, I've got a fence post underneath it that has our carpeting set on top of it. So again, it's just kind of a little aesthetic trick. I will probably be doing something with that in our world eventually. But since we're here, I thought I'd go ahead and share that with you now. Obviously going down is easy regardless, but going up can be a pain in the ass. And I kind of like the way it looks. You don't have to worry about jumping up things. It just moves up kind of like you're on a horse or something like that. So anyway, that is that. Let's head back over to the main Let's Play world now and figure out a home for this thing. So, see you in just a sec. Alright guys, here we are back in my world. I've made a couple little changes in here that are hopefully going to work out for us. As I mentioned, I really kind of wanted to build this thing over here on the far side of this thing, but I didn't want to have just a little slender walk-through path on this side. Almost wouldn't even be doable on this side just because there's some redstone under there and all that stuff. So in order to avoid that, I've gone ahead, I've just built kind of this little walk around thing over here. I went ahead and just did this off camera since this is just simple build stuff, nothing redstone-y. And then I've gone ahead and I've mapped out what the coords are for right above this little path right here. So in essence, this is where I want to have my Enderpearl elevator, so I guess I got to get started building right here. So I actually want to build this thing down a block, so I may have a little bit of some weirdness going on. I got to figure out a way to get down a little lower here. And I don't really feel like using a piston to move a block down or anything like that. So I think I'm probably just going to block up from underneath. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead off cam really fast. I wanted to show you this part. I'll block up from underneath so we can get our pistons placed, and I think once I have some of that stuff placed, I should have something to build off of, so it shouldn't be too bad from there. And actually, yeah, I'll just use my last Enderpearl here, and we'll get more later. And I'll start blocking up from here. Be right back. Alright guys, so here we are. I built a little platform underneath here so we can kind of build on. I threw a block up there, so I think what I'm going to want is I want to have my sticky pistons, not placed upside down. I want to have them placed against... Oh, okay, good, I did get it. That was just a particle. Good. I want to have them placed there so that we can have them extend and close this thing off. So I think that's where I want them to be. So that's going to actually help me out to figure out what I've got to chop out from up above there. Trying to think here too. I think I'm going to go ahead, even though I've got a lot of wood built over here, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with the same block materials that I did in the contraption world version of this that you guys saw, just because I like the way that the sticky pistons blend in with those blocks. I think that's going to be a better look for us overall. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pop those 2 dirt blocks out because I actually used all my dirt up. Oh, okay, apparently not all of it. I had one left there just to get up here, but I want to go ahead and do that, and then I think I should be able to, at that point, I should be able to get up above this stuff again and place that stuff back down so we don't have to work from underneath. But I am going to keep this thing here just in case I fall, because I have been known to do dumber things, that's for certain. So let's see if we can't stack up here high enough. Yeah, good deal. I had a feeling that I could do that. Okay. And I think this is going to be the hardest part of this thing. At least I hope this is going to be the hardest part of this thing. So get that built, and then... Well, I'm going to waste a couple of these guys is what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to climb back down to pick them back up. And I need these here. Alright, actually, you know what? I need blocks behind those anyway to run my redstone on, so yeah, that'll work. Alright, so those are going to then push into here when we're ready to use our elevator. Now, I guess, I was hoping not to have this be this close, but you know what? If it's gotta be, it's gotta be. So that's going to be where my redstone's going to have to lay. And then I'll power it around. I guess on this side of things is where I will power this thing up. Well, at least for now, I'm going to get rid of that guy. And that guy. Got to think this through a little bit, but actually, instead of thinking, let's just build and let the build tell us what I got to do, right? Alright, so that's going to be that. Then I got to have my, if I'm not mistaken, I got to have my tripwire hooks are going to have to be, I believe, at this height. So they'll be at my head height when I pop up into this thing. But I think I want to have it 1 block back as well. So I might have done that in the wrong spot, but that's where we have this to work from, right? Yeah, I got to bear with me a little bit. I'm building this completely from memory. Sometimes when I'm building these things with you guys, I've got little cheat sheets and such, but not this time anyway. Is that right? I'm not sure that's going to be right, but we're going to go with it. And if it's not, then we will change it when the time comes. Eat really fast. Alright, so that's going to be the top of our little pyramid-y-like thing. We got to get some more blocks here. I'm going to leave those. Those two, and then, yeah, I think this is right. It will certainly do the trick. How about that? Yeah, and just to be symmetrical, yeah, we kept this down low. Alright, so this is definitely wired up at this point. Now we just got to make it look pretty and make sure that we are actually going to function. Somehow that feels wrong to me. You know what, guys, give me a sec. I'm going to AFK and just make sure. No, that's got to be right. I'm just going to go ahead. I'll go AFK for a second and make sure I've got these in the right spot. I think I may actually have to lower them down one because this just feels a little off to me. So let me check that out. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Alright guys, just double checked and I think we are okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of proceed with this and we'll figure it out later if I'm not right. So let me go ahead and get a little counterpoint for those the other tripwire hooks here to hook into. That way we can place our spider silk and actually have this thing start functioning. I can get the dirt out of there. So there's actually, let's get the dirt out of there now before it's hard to dig. And we will clean this thing up. There we go. Now if I'm not mistaken, yeah, excellent. So now we have a ground here. That's good. Now I want to kind of go, ow, ooh. Okay, that's why we have that here. That would have been a bad death. So always remember that, guys. Build little platforms. They will save your life. Because the difference here between this and what I had done elsewhere or on the contraption world is I had little half slabs over these so that when we come up here, A, it's pretty, and B, we have the, I guess I'm trying to think what the word is. We have the piston arms covered, so that way there's no hole in here and we don't have to worry about falling like I just did. So let's see if we can get this guy in place here. Is that right height? No, that's not the right height. I could have done that. Come on, man. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get this up a little higher so that when we come out we're going up, but more importantly than that, it's so that we can get over this redstone here. Now unfortunately, it looks like I'm a block off on my height, so I think I might, yeah, that's going to bother me if I don't lower this thing down. So alright guys, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to lower all this down one block, and I'll do that off camera, so the magic of recording, you guys will not see that, it will just magically be there when I come back. Be right back. Alright guys, here we go. I have dropped everything down by a block, so I am now effectively trapped down here, but back to placing half slabs. Again, the thing to remember about this is to avoid the piston arms. You want to make sure that you have your half slabs placed on top of, well, shoot, on top of the blocks that you're pushing, because ultimately those are what are going to transition between normal pistons and the piston arms. I guess I'm just going to do that. And then we'll pop this guy here. And then the last bit we can place on top of the redstone dust. So now we can get up and down this thing safely, at least on one side. I'll plug this hole in over here once I finish this thing out. But at least for now, I wanted to go ahead and just leave it as it is. Yeah. We'll go ahead and we'll place this here, and we'll get another couple of blocks up on that thing. This is really just for symmetry purposes. I'm not planning to build anything on this side yet, but I do actually have some thoughts for some things that may end up coming over here, but that'll be down the road, kind of more surprisey stuff for you guys. So I think at this point I want to wall that in. And of course I'm out of my stone bricks. So I want to get some more of those eventually here, but at this point I should be safe to run across this thing now, and it should open and close behind me. So at this point it is actually a finished Enderpearl elevator, short of being cleaned up, but I need to get some, I need to get the ceiling on top of this thing. So I'm placing these on top of the, oh, you know what, I need to move this back one more too, because otherwise if I throw something up here I'm going to miss. So, alright, as I said, sorry guys, bear with me, I am doing this completely off the cuff, but should be pretty easy for me to fix that at this point. That's a problem too. I got that that's a little too low, so I got to move that up a little bit more too. So, alright, anyway, live and learn. I will get this moved back. It shouldn't take me too long off cam, and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, so here we go. I've got this moved back again, and so that is in there. A couple of quick words. I'm not sure how we're looking on time on this thing, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check that. I have a feeling we're probably close to the end here. So before I do say my farewells to you for another couple of days, wanted to point out one thing about this. If you are building this thing in your world, make sure you do not use any repeaters on any of your redstone. Repeaters are a huge no-no here. They will cause all sorts of badness for you. Anything that slows down, because there will be a delay with them, and anything that causes a delay in here will make sure that you fall through there and get crushed by the pistons instead of them closing under your feet. So again, just remember, make sure you don't let that happen to you, and you should be just fine. Now I think by placing these here we should be okay. Nope, that's still going to block me. Okay, I got to place them a little higher up. Making the same mistake I've already made. What's up with that? That's not obnoxious. Okay, so if I place them up here now, it looks more right. More right? Righter? Maybe I shouldn't be speaking. Okay, there we go. That's where we want those guys to be. So now I just got to wall this thing in, make it look pretty, and I will go ahead and I'll do that stuff off camera. So anyway, actually, you know what? Let's give this thing a test before I say farewell to you guys and purdy this thing up off camera. So, oops, I guess I got to get some ender pearls first here. So let's just pop back up really quick. I will run over and grab some, and we'll give this thing a test from down low. So yeah, I will. I'll go off cam here really fast because I've got to chew out the dirt that's underneath that too. Don't want to waste your time with that. Otherwise, I won't be able to hit the thing with an Enderpearl. So I will be right back. Alright guys, so here I am down on the level where the skelly farm is, and so if I'm running back over here, this is the water drop, the water elevator that we've got that takes us down here. So then if I position myself right here and look up, then I should be able to toss a pearl up there. And there we go. We end up safely at the top. So that's exactly what we wanted. Looks like we're working. So I will call this the end of the video because I think, like I said, I think we're probably way past, knowing me, way past where I want to be with it. But yeah, that is an Enderpearl elevator. So I've got one in my world. Hopefully now you know enough to put one in yours if you want it. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and if you're not already a subscriber, do subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.